Let's face it, the NBA is a business. Teams treat their players like assets, players have the freedom to switch teams in free agency, and fans are left to argue about loyalty. This brings us to the curious case of Isaiah Thomas. In 2017, he was detonating every night for the Celtics, to the tune of 29 points per game. He was all but guaranteed a max contract, and there were even whispers of MVP honors for him. He was that good. Later, we learned Thomas was playing with an injured hip throughout the Celtics' deep playoff run. He became a hero to Boston fans for his physical and emotional toughness, as he played through a missing tooth and left it all on the floor the day after the death of his sister. Sadly, his playoff run fizzled out on the bench, as his hip pain became unbearable. The shorthanded Celtics went on to lose to the Cavaliers in the conference finals. Faced with the prospect of signing a deteriorating 5'9" guard to a max contract, the Celtics instead pulled the trigger on a blockbuster deal that netted them Kyrie Irving. While it was the right business move for the franchise, it shocked Boston fans and cost Isaiah dearly. He never fit in with Cleveland and was shipped to Los Angeles after playing in only 15 games with the Cavs. The Lakers would become his fifth team in 7 years. In less than 2 years, Isaiah Thomas went from this...
I'm happy for all the guards and all the other guys getting their money because they deserve it, but I mean, my time's coming. They know they got to bring the Brinks truck out. They know that.
And ultimately landed a 1-year, $2 million deal to come off the bench for the Denver Nuggets. But Isaiah Thomas is not alone in getting screwed by a team in unfortunate circumstances. Back in 1960, a skinny 6'5" teenager by the name of Oscar Robertson moved from the projects of Indianapolis to play basketball for the University of Cincinnati. And just like that, Robertson limited his potential NBA teams down to only one. From 1949 to 1966, the NBA's draft process was vastly different from the lottery style we have today. There was a strange draft rule in place called a territorial pick. This special pick was created in an attempt to boost local fan support by allowing franchises to forfeit their first-round pick and subsequently select any player in a 50-mile radius from the home arena. When Robertson became eligible for the NBA draft in 1960, the territorial pick had been around for 10 years and yielded 7 future Hall of Famers, including the legendary Wilt Chamberlain. After winning the scoring title and Player of the Year honors in 3 straight seasons as a Bearcat, Robertson was a lock to become a territorial pick by the Cincinnati Royals. The Royals gave Robertson a $33,000 signing bonus, and he immediately started dominating on the court, averaging 31 points and a triple-double in his rookie season. He famously maintained this triple-double average for the entirety of his NBA career, a feat no player in the game's history has ever matched. In 1964, Robertson began dominating off the court as he launched his fight for player empowerment. He was a key member of a group of players who threatened to boycott the NBA's All-Star Game if players didn't receive basic benefits such as medical treatment and pay for preseason games. The players held strong, and the owners eventually caved. The next year, Robertson became the first ever black president of any professional players' union. 5 years later, in 1970, Robertson had the most important year of his NBA career. On the court, he was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks and teamed up with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There, he went on to win his only NBA title in 1971. Off the court, he filed an antitrust lawsuit against the league to end the option clause that bound players to a single NBA team in perpetuity. The lawsuit blocked the NBA's merger with the ABA until 1976, when a settlement was agreed upon and the road to free agency was paved. This became known as the Oscar Robertson rule, giving players the power to dictate the direction of their careers. When Robertson was asked by Rachel Nichols what he thinks of the fan backlash against today's player mobility, specifically in the cases of Kevin Durant and LeBron James, Robertson had the following to say.
Yeah, I'm happy that he went there, to be honest, because he was taking advantage of his contract. Even when LeBron went down to Miami, everyone was so upset. Why were they upset? Because he didn't have a contract. Why didn't they sign him to a lifetime contract before he did that?
Unfortunately, after Robertson won and the lawsuit was settled, he was seemingly blackballed by ownership across the NBA. He was never hired as a head coach or a front office member by any franchise. Apparently, loyalty only goes as far as the pen and paper that signed the contract.